Hey, what's up everybody? So in this video we will discuss about the deployment of our NLP model with the help of Docker. So in the previous video we have discussed about what is NLP and we have make a model on sentiment analysis, and we want to deploy that particular model so that actually the user will going to use that model for his own purpose. Okay, so for the deployment, we have to make a CI/CD pipeline. Okay, so what is CI/CD pipeline that we will gonna discuss in this video? So the first thing is, but these are the set of tools that we will gonna use in this the use case, the project. The first thing is Flask. What is the Flask? And this is actually a very lightweight web framework, and we'll discuss into the detail about the Flask in this video. And the second thing is what is Docker, and that we're going to discuss and that we will also use in this video. The third one is GitLab. This is the sign of the GitLab, and the fourth one is Jenkins. Okay, so first of all you have to configure a virtual box, a virtual environment, so that we can all install this on the particular virtual environment. Okay, why we are using virtual environment? Because the Docker generally want not a window platform. Generally in the recent update, Docker can be installed on Windows, but actually it is much more compatible with the Linux. Okay, it's made for actual Linux. It generally run on Linux kernel. Okay, so for that you have to configure VirtualBox. Go and just download a VirtualBox, and also go to Ubuntu website and just install, just download the Ubuntu image, and there is a lot of more videos that will explain you how to install Ubuntu on your virtual machine, so that it will run on the top of your host operating system. Okay, so after installing Ubuntu, go to setting, and you have to do one simple setting, then to configure your network to bridge adapter. Okay, and give that your adapter, choose whatever the adapter you want to use, and that should be your this Intel dual band wireless AC, what adapter you are using. So that adapter will let you connect your host operating system directly to that operating system running on your VirtualBox. Okay, so whatever have been installed, we can directly contact our VirtualBox and to our host operating system. Okay, so we'll work on the command line basically, so that we want to configure it, and after that start it, and it will start for you your actual operating system running on VirtualBox. Okay, it will take some time through video editing. We'll just directly jump on when this operating system will get start. So we have started our operating system. So here you can see we have the screen, and we'll just open the terminal here. So as you can see that it's been slow, because it's actually running on the top of VirtualBox. So you can expect it's quite delay. So we'll just fire a command ifconfig, so it will give you that on which network your operating system is running. So here you can see 192.168.43.200. We'll just open our command prompt also, and in this you just can see ipconfig. Here you can see that 192.168.43.92 is actually the same network, only that IP addresses are different. So it means we can directly connect our PuTTY or CMD or PowerShell with the SSH. Okay, so with the SSH you can just type the username. So here you can see I have username of MD Rijwan. So mdrijwan@192.168.43.200. After that press enter. If you haven't changed the port, the port will remain 22. So after that it will prompt you for the password. Just pressed your password, and the terminal will get open. Okay, so after that you directly go to installation of a Docker. So what is actually Docker? So according to Wikipedia, Docker is a set of platform as a service product that use operating system level virtualization to deliver software in packages called container. Okay, so what this actually means, you have an application, and if you want to run your application, you only need an system or environment where you can that environment have all the dependency for your application to run. Okay, so that application should be very much small. Only that dependency or libraries it should contain. It doesn't have to contain everything which you doesn't want. Okay, so that is a drawback of actually of using architecture of previous hypervisor technology. We open this. Okay, yeah, so in this picture, so you can see that previously the virtual machine architecture on the top of infrastructure, it means your operating system, your hardware, you will have hypervisor install, and after that there is individual virtual machine. Like I have installed here a particular one virtual machine. Okay, so for different application you need to install a different operating system, which will be bulky and heavy, and you don't want other features to be installed. While Docker, it will run on your host operating system on the kernel, and for different application it will run a container which have everything dependency installed, and that application, that container run as an instance of the particular image. What is image, that we will understand, and that will be very much lightweight. Okay, so this understanding Docker for this video is totally out of the scope. That will understand in some other video. For now we will install Docker for our work. Installing the Docker is very straightforward and is given in your Docker docs itself. So first of all we will use sudo apt update, and after that this command, this sudo apt install. So for this command, go to Docker docs in Ubuntu section, depending upon whatever operating system you are using, and after that curl command, and after that this command. So this is all the steps that will give you the recent or updated version of Docker. Then you have to fire this command, and after that apt update, and finally this Docker community edition. Since I have already downloaded it, so for that you can just, I will use tell you what images that I have into my virtual machine. Okay, so here I have this NLP Python, this my app Python, GitLab, Jenkins. These are the images that I have installed previously. Okay, similarly we will try to make our image for our NLP model, and we'll run it. Okay, so just install it. Installation is very straightforward, and after installation you just check whether it's running or not. Just I will use this command, sudo docker run hello world. Okay, so it will, if that particular image it will won't find, it will download it from internet. Okay, and after that it will run here hello from Docker. This message shows that your installation appear to be working correctly. Okay, this message you're required to know that the Docker have been installed correctly. And after that you have to install Jenkins. So for the Jenkins you directly go to linuxize.com, and here how to install Jenkins on Ubuntu 18-04. So that is very straightforward. For Jenkins to run you need to have OpenJDK to be installed. So Jenkins have been written in Python, Java. So sorry for that, it's Java actually, and so for that it needed OpenJDK to run. So first of all, install OpenGDK, and after that you run that Jenkins Debian repository. It will get the key, and after that you will fire this command, and after that Jenkins. Okay, so after installing Jenkins, we have to install on our this operating system. Okay, so just after installing Jenkins, it will run on port 8080. Okay, so after installing the Jenkins, it will running on some port, and just we will have to go just a minute, config, and here we have 192. Just copy it, and here just paste it, and 8080. So it will open for you the Jenkins which is running on my computer. Okay, so firstly, the Jenkins configuring it is the actual thing that we want, and for that I will tell you the power of Docker. So generally for running Jenkins, you can also run it with the help of Docker. We'll just pass Docker images. Okay, so this is the Docker images actually. Okay, so here you can see we have Jenkins images that already I have pulled out. So I will run this image on some port. Okay, so for that we have command docker run -d is for the running it and the background, -p, and in which port you want to run. So Jenkins already running on port 8080, that port won't be available. We will use our 9090, and inside the Jenkins is running 8080, so it will bridge 8080, connect it with 9090. Okay, so that is this command is all about. So after that we will use we will give it a name. We will use Jenkins, and after that Jenkins/Jenkins. So that's all. So if that container is not running previously, so it won't give any type of error. Let's we wish. So it is actually I have run before, so that's why it's Jenkins name is already contained in it. So I have to give it a different name. So Jenkins like 123, any type of name. Okay, so it is running at the background. So if you can just see docker ps-a, only docker ps. Okay, so you can see that Jenkins is actually running on port 9090, and the name actually we have given Jenkins 123. Okay, so just copy it and paste on your browser, and just go to 9090. You can find that something is running. Okay, so Jenkins is getting ready. So you can see the logs also of this container. So this actually become a container. So this image Jenkins/Jenkins have all that our repository, all that dependencies that is needed to run the Jenkins. Okay, so it have some Linux operating system, you can see, in this particular container, and the Jenkins have been installed in it and is running, and after running it becoming a container. So that container we are accessing. So you can also go to Docker logs, and you can just type a container ID that should be unique. So you can also type a 1 or 2 characters or 3 first ID only, 85F. Hit enter. You can see that you have this key. Okay, that key, copy it, and here the Jenkins will ask you for the key, and continue. And now after that you need to install. So similar process of installation you will get for installation into that operating system, not in the Docker. Okay, so after that install plugins. So it will install your every type of plugins needed to run Jenkins smoothly. Okay, so generally if you won't find that particular path, or if you're going to install the Jenkins on your operating system, this operating system, you will find that particular key in the Jenkins log. Okay, you can just type locate, maybe if the locate is installed in my system, so Jenkins, so it will show you everything wherever the Jenkins have been installed. So here you can see the Jenkins log. Okay, so just type this and Jenkins log. So here at the bottom you can see that the same key for the first time installation is available here. So I'm just coming out of the Vim. So that particular key you need to enter while installing Jenkins on the operating system, not with the help of Docker. So in this we have for installation installed with the help of Docker. That's why we need a Docker log. Okay, in the logs we will get that particular key. After installation, so that happened because my internet connection are not good. So after getting ready, you will prompt for password, give the password, and Jenkins will automatically get the work done for you, and after that you can good to go. So I am just disconnecting it, and I'm just check docker ps. You will get the Jenkins, and I will just stop this container. So I will stop this container also, as well as I want to remove this container also. Okay, so and docker remove 85f. So it will stop as well as remove this. If you can see, which is nothing is running. Okay, so this is the actual Jenkins that I have installed and configure. So the password and username is same, so just to remember for me, and if your password username correct, it will land you on the Jenkins page. So this is the Jenkins page actually. So this is the web browser. So in this you can see that new item, everything is available. So that will configure after when we write our Flask code and we will actually want to deploy it. Okay, so after that we need to install GitLab. So for the GitLab we are going to use the Docker itself. Okay, so if you can just see, I have the image of GitLab here. For that image you can just type docker pull and GitLab/GitLab CE. So here this is the GitLab in Docker Hub. Directly go to Docker Hub and just search for GitLab community edition, and here the GitLab Docker command to pulling that GitLab image from the Docker Hub is given here. So just copy it and just paste here. So I have already installed, so maybe it won't prompt for the latest version. So yeah, it's pulling it because it's already it have found something latest version, so that's why it will download everything for me. Okay, so it will take some time. After downloading, we will come again. So it have successfully downloaded it, and here we can see that I already have GitLab the latest version. So for that we will just run it. So to running that GitLab, we will just type this command docker run -d for running in the background and -p. So GitLab have 3 port that need to be open. First one is 443, that we will link with 443, and you know that this 443 the actual the port where we will use it on our host operating system. This is for that port that is running inside that container. Okay, so again -pp. The second one is 80, 80 is the actual port where the UI is running. Okay, so this port we will access our UI. Okay, so after -p we will use 22 comma 22. So 22 comma 22 is the port GitLab will use for 443, 80 and 22. That 3 port we will need it to open. Okay, and after that we will just type the name of our container, that is GitLab, and the name of the image, GitLab hyphen GitLab. Okay, so these are the things that needed to be run, and after that hit enter. So it will run your container, GitLab container, at the back end. So I have already run in the past, so you can just just type docker ps, so you will get that actually running the container. So if you stop that container, yeah, that particular container we recorded in the past, you can see that with the help of docker ps -a. So here you can see I have that the docker name hello world NLP Python that I have run to test it, and here you can see the GitLab. Okay, so 6 days ago I have run it, and here you can see the 80, 443, and the running is 2200, which is actually accessing from the outside. Okay, so that will going to run here. Okay, so just write your command. Okay, so for running it, so docker start 51c. Okay, so just press enter. So again sudo docker ps. Here you can see that your GitLab is running. Okay, just checking the log, just check docker logs and the number, the container ID. So it will show you all the logs which is running to run your GitLab. Okay, so GitLab will take some time to run. Okay, so just a minute, and yeah, it's actually configuring. It's actually takes some time to run. Okay, it's yeah, okay, so it's actually running on A80. Okay, so it will show you 502, but this thing is not to worry about, because GitLab generally takes some time to configure, and after that our GitLab will ready for us. Okay, and now we're going to learn about what is Jenkins. Jenkins we have done. Okay, the installation of the Jenkins, and Jenkins installation is very straightforward. So with the help of Jenkins, we can, what we'll do, we will make a pipeline. Okay, pipeline to monitor our build, and if there is any problem, that pipeline will get break. Okay, so how we will make the pipeline, that we will see on the next videos. Okay, so now we will try to make what is Flask actually. Okay, so Flask is a web development framework that is very light and very easy to write and very easy to understand, and this framework can be used to make an APIs which generally people are preferring. Okay, so it's very easy to make APIs and ship, and it also give you WSGI a connector, which is actually help us to connect our application with client. So whenever client need any type of response, it will connect it with your application through WSGI connector. Whatever response you will get from the application, that connector will get transfer it again to the client. Okay, so that WSGI connector or feature will be provided by the Flask. Okay, so what is it? It is micro framework. used for website designing, APIs and RESTful APIs. Okay, reusing existing code, lots of documentation, very rich documentation is available for understanding Flask. And next way to write small applications. Okay, so it's a framework, yes. So under the hood it is Vex, full power of Vexzug. It is actually the thing that I was talking about, WSGI connector. Jinja to a capable template. You can write your template of XML, HTML, anything which is written in Python. Okay, so generally Python developer, Jinja 2 is a very good tool to write for HTML or XML template. And 450 lines of code it is something which is not we can discuss, but it is very easy to make your application with the help of Flask. So we will try to make this one application of Flask, and we'll try to see how Flask is very easy to understand. Okay, so I'll write Flask try and open it. So this I'm actually working in Visual Studio Code, so you can use any type of editor which you like. So first of all, I will import Flask. From Flask, import Flask. Flask is a class, importing from the Flask library. Flask can be installed with the help of pip. So go to terminal and or your command prompt and just type pip install and Flask. So Flask will get installed in your system, okay, or your virtual environment, wherever you want to install it. And after that, we will just create an object for class Flask, and inside it we will just give underscore name. That is our name of the main method that we will pass under the code. And after that, we will route our application. We actually running this in the browser, so we are actually making an API. So whenever we open our web browser, the local host, we will see that particular message, whatever write in the Flask will get appear on our browser. Okay, so we'll type app.route, and we will say slash. So slash is actually the default one, so we'll just type definition index, and after that return hello Flask. Okay, so this is the very easy one. And after that, we will write the main method. So in the Python, we will write main method like that, equal to and main, and after that we will run app.run and debug is equal to true. If everything is right, we will see the response into the browser. We'll just open our command prompt and just hit if the Flask is installed. I'll try to install it. Okay, Flask and Flask try.py. Hit enter, and it said something like an attempt to made to access a socket in a way forbidden by its access permission. Okay, all right. So okay, so actually the problem is in the port. So we have to give some different port if that message comes again. So we have to give some different port and try our program. So I have given 8000. So just go to your program and just click it, and it will start normally. Okay, so just go directly to your browser and just hit local host and 8000 and you will see hello Flask. So the Flask is that much easy, okay, to understand. Okay, so after going into it, so we have covered Flask, some little bit detail about Docker, and that GitLab. So GitLab is actually a web-based CI/CD pipeline that able to give you GitLab command to host your code, and also it will give you all that CI/CD tool, like integrating it with the Docker, integrating it with the Jenkins, integrating it with the deployment tool like Kubernetes, and everything. So for that, many companies are using GitLab. Okay, so Git is generally for open source, and if you're an enterprise, many people are using GitLab. Okay, that's why I chosen GitLab and uh, to make this video. Okay, so we have done what is Flask, Docker, GitLab, Jenkins, configure it, and after that installation. So in our system we have installed Docker. In our system we have saw installation of GitLab and also the Jenkins. Okay, so our environment is totally build it up, and after that we can happily code and we can deploy it. Okay, so thank you so much. In the next video, link given in the description for getting the detail, just click it and directly go into that video, so that you can see how the actual thing is working. Okay, how that integration is working, how the continuous integration and deployment pipeline is actually working. Okay, so for that, please, if you like that video, hit the thumbs up and just share the video and subscribe my channel, so that to continue some other tools and technology, I will make the video on that. Okay, thank you so much. Bye bye.